We're about to show you some of our materials and products. We want to tell you, however, that we won't be showing everything in full detail. That would take 4 or 5 hours of your time and considerably more of ours. We'll show you some of the effects, we'll demonstrate them for you, but mainly we want you to get an idea of the commercial value of our magic and, of course, the quality. We're interested in that. We're interested in magic in general and magic as an art. I'd like to start by showing you the platform we'll be demonstrating from. This is called the Criterion Demo Center. It's made of solid walnut. It's hand-rubbed and polished, easy to carry around for table workers, and it breaks down flat. The top removes from the two sides fold flat and go into a briefcase, and this is available from Collector's Workshop. We think it says a lot about us and, of course, a lot about you as well. But let's move on to some of the effects. It's called the 3-coin trick. You can take these 3 coins and cause them to go from this cup to this cup, either visibly or invisibly. Which would you prefer?
Visibly.
Visibly it is, from this cup to that cup. Unbelievable, 3 coins having done their number and transferred across the table. I'm going to do it again a little more slowly. 1, 2, 3 coins, removing one invisibly, bringing it across, done. 1 coin over there, 2 over there. I'll do it again. Watch closely. 1 coin, 2 coins. Removing one and bringing it over leaves us with 2 coins over here and 1 there. The last one is the most difficult. I'm going to do it through the pocket. Watch. 2 coins, 1 in the pocket. Listen, you can hear it happen. Done. 3 coins, 2 cups. I know what you're saying. What happens if you have no half dollars? The answer is, you do it with dimes. Quick demonstration on the ring cruncher. Borrow a ring. Note that it's filthy. Tell them you have 3 easy steps for cleaning. Step 1, insert the ring. Step number 2, have a little trouble remembering whether you go forwards or backwards with the crank, and give it a try. Uh-oh, I hope your ring hasn't done any damage to my equipment. At which point you dump it out and you show them that at least it's clean. Well, no problem. You'll trade them for your most valuable asset, your deck of cards, for their ring. They'll like this. Why? Because this is a very unusual deck of cards. It's kind of like magical Cracker Jacks because inside this box is the ring. The ring cruncher is a very commercial piece for table workers. Walk around, resets immediately. It's solid brass and it plays great.
Hold it right there.
Spectators select any 2 cards, in this case the 10 of hearts and the Jack of spades. The cards are returned to the deck in any position, and the deck is placed behind a single layer of glass. In that fashion, the cards can't move this way. If I place it behind a second layer of glass, they can't move this way. If the cards are to move at all, they must do so horizontally through the deck and to the front in this manner. That's why we call this the horizontal card rise. Now then, let me place the cover on and cover both with a silk handkerchief. Being temporarily out of silk handkerchiefs, I'll use these silk undershorts. Now then, the first card selected was the 10 of hearts, and note that the 10 has made it to the front. But I'm going to make it a little more difficult. By taking this elastic band, I think you'll agree that if I surround the deck with an elastic band, we take what is an ordinary trick and raise it to the level of a miracle. Watch closely as we cover it once more. The second card was the Jack of spades, and the Jack of spades, too, voyaged to the front. The horizontal card rise, you get the globe, the base, and the glass. Use your own deck. It's not gimmicked. This is creation, one of the finest close-up effects ever invented. It's solid brass. The story accompanies the borrowing of a ring. The ring vanishes. The lantern, the Himalayan prayer lamp as it's called, is covered with a votive slip, or tissue paper, or, as we call it, flash paper. Now, if I may seek the assistance of a wandering craftsman, Sir, if you'd be good enough just to light the paper. And you'll notice that the ring has returned. This is creation, and we think it is absolute dynamite. An abbreviated version of any card to wallet. This was developed by Davy Marlin Jones in conjunction with those of us at the workshop who think this is an absolutely magnificent effect. Briefly, a deck of cards is tossed to the spectator. He opens the deck, he looks through the deck and remembers one card. He closes the deck, places it back in the box, and tosses the box on the table. You remove your wallet. You say, "Done, your card is now in my wallet," that quickly. You say, "Would you recognize it again if you saw it?" He says, "Yes." You open the wallet and you say, "Look familiar?" He says, "Well, actually, I was looking at the other side." You say, "I'm sorry. Do me a favor, open up the deck, and for the first time, what card did you select?" He announces it. He says, let's say it was the Queen of Spades. He looks through the deck, and as he does so, he notices that the Queen of Spades is not there. You tell him, "You know, if you were counting, you would find 51 cards. And in fact, there are only 51 cards, and his card is not there. At that point, you show him why it's not there. It's because the 52nd card, the Queen of Spades, is with you. This is the Morelli ring, and rather than doing the normal procedure, which is to do the effect, I'm simply going to show you how it works, because as a magician, you'll appreciate the ease of handling and the commercial value of it. The ring is vanished. Use your favorite method, all right? You have the ring in your hand. You simply turn, and with the ring, lift up on the key ring. Remove the key ring from the pocket, turn it over, and the ring is now sandwiched between two of the keys. As you hand it to the spectators, you simply push on the little lock, and that ring is now locked on to that chain. In order to remove it, it's necessary for the spectators to unscrew the material, remove the key, and finally the ring. Earlier in this sequence, you saw one of the most remarkable effects ever put out by Collector's Workshop, called the horizontal card rise. We did that in standard size cards, but in response to the requests from many, many performers who perform primarily on stage, we marketed it in jumbo size. This is it. You know the effect. You get the globe, the base, the card stand, and the jumbo cards with it. It's the jumbo version of horizontal card rise. Move.
Doug Henning used to talk about taking the blue pom-pom connected to the yellow pom-pom and so forth. This is not that effect. It's called the Burmese bells. It utilizes 5 independently hung bells, different colored beads on top. The spectator selects any one color. Assume for the purposes of this demonstration, he selects green. As you watch the green, for no explicable reason, it begins to swing, moving back and forth, steadily increasing as if pushed by an unseen hand. The notion is simple. Psychic forces, controlled by the spectator, manifesting themselves in the movement of the bells. Now, had the spectator chosen another bell, not the green, but let's say the white one would be similarly affected. In fact, as the white one began to swing, the green one would slow down. There is no explanation. To those who believe, no explanation is necessary. For those who do not believe, none is possible.
The other day, my wife came home from an art auction. She brought with her a little objet, a souvenir, if you will. This in the form of a miniature samurai sword. Now, you, sir, have we ever met before?
No.
You just did the trick a moment ago. Check out the sword, if you will. Look it over. Make sure it's perfectly solid. And if I may retrieve it from you, I will tell you the story of this. You know, the Japanese treat these very much like jewelry. They hand them down from generation to generation. And it occurred to me that it would be nice if we could develop an effect where it was kind of East meets West, where we have the Western jewelry and the Eastern jewelry, and in the form of the Western jewelry, if I could borrow a ring from you. Do you have one of those? That'd be great. Your name, sir?
Shell.
Shell. Thank you very much. Shell, the effect is a simple and direct one. In a moment, I'm going to attempt to make your ring, excuse me, travel from my hand to the sword. It will happen at the count of 3, and you will hear it happen. Please watch and listen carefully. 1, 2, 3. You see, underneath the foulard is a single ring impaled on a samurai sword. This is that sword, and if anyone would like it, I will include the solid gold ring. Oh no. Shell, I thank you very much for your participation. Thank you. This is Bulletproof, one of our newest and something that perhaps we are proudest of. It's a remake of the old television card frame, but done in a most unusual manner. It comes with 4 pieces, a lucite base, 2 lucite plates that fit in the wooden standards, and these, of course, are banded together with 2 elastic bands. The plot is familiar to many of you. Obviously, the item can be assembled in front of the audience if you wish, and in fact, each piece examined should you be in the mood. A card is selected from a jumbo deck. We thought the use of a jumbo deck was a good idea for those of us who have been doing card tricks from the stage for years that no one can see. The card, as I indicated, is freely selected and signed by the spectator. In this case, for time purposes, let me simply put my own signature on it. Now then, the card is then placed face down on the table and the deck returned to the box. The chosen card is then destroyed, and the pieces are wrapped up in an attractive blue handkerchief. Now, the interesting part of this comes because it is a good deal of misdirection in many respects. Let me show you what I mean. You now hand the spectator a blank pistol, and you tell them that by firing, they will be able to restore the card. At this point, a little plate is held under the handkerchief because you are going to, at the same time, catch the bullet, Chung Ling Soo fashion, that they're firing. And we'll do so at the count of 3. Watch closely. 1, 2, 3. I thought you'd like to see what the Tang Dynasty tea chest looks like. This is made of African bubinga wood. The effect is as described in our written catalog. A ring is borrowed, the ring vanishes, and one points to the tea chest. You describe it as containing teas from all over the world. And, of course, one ends up with the ring in the tea chest inside the tea bag that is produced, opened up, and the borrowed ring is returned to the spectator. No switches, no sleight of hand. It's a superb effect. Perhaps the primary effect in the entire collector's workshop repertoire is perfect time. This is the perfect time wristwatch. You've heard about it. It's been around for a decade. It is still one of the finest, perhaps the strongest mental effect ever produced. The effect is very simple. You remove your wristwatch,